Hi, good evening. Welcome to our Thursday night yoga session. Normally we do a little bit more faster movement, and we're still going to do a little bit of that tonight. But because it's full moon, in India it's very auspicious time, and a lot of real yogis won't practice at all. So when there's a full moon and I have a class, I usually make it just a slower class. So we really focus on more of the mindfulness meditation through movement. So we're still going to move and do some deeper stretches at the beginning and the end. So if you've got cushions or blocks, they can be useful. Don't worry if you don't. Mats, again, useful, but if you haven't, carpet should be fine, or a towel. And yeah, the only thing to mention is to always, as always, come out if you're feeling any pain in the joint. If it's just muscular, then just breathe through it, enjoy it, and come out if you feel you need to. That's it. So we're going to start with wide knee child's pose. It's not always available to everyone. If it doesn't work for you, for your knees especially, so the knees are at least as wide as the mat and the big toes touch behind, and then you sit the hips back. Now some of you won't be able to get the hips back. You could use cushions or blocks, and just seeing if this works for your body. If it doesn't, then you could just be seated as we do normally. So bringing the forehead to the floor, or if it doesn't reach the floor, you can bring the floor to you with cushions, blocks, hands, fists. So you can really use all kinds of tools to bring the floor a little bit closer towards the head, so you can rest that down. So this is our first yin posture. So these yin postures are much more passive in the body, so they don't have as much contraction to the muscles. So there's still a very deep element of stretch in these, but we're not having to actively contract our muscles to hold the posture. So that's why they're named yin. And usually these are kind of poses, because of that being more passive, you can hold them a little bit longer. If you're in excruciating pain in any of those, you please just release slowly, however you went in, really never feeling pain in your practice. You can always come out and ask any questions that you need. So otherwise, just focus on releasing down. So it's a very grounding posture. So we've got all points of contact connecting to the earth. The forehead especially, this area we can really feel and connect to the earth, or the hands, wherever they rest, wherever it rests. And as the hips sink back to the heels, you should get a nice hip stretch here, as well as the abduction going on, that lovely groin stretch. If it's too much, like I say, release. But we'll just stay here another few breaths if you're okay. Deep breath in through the nose, expanding the belly as you do. And then as you exhale, releasing the belly back towards the spine, releasing the air out. Keep that flowing into the belly. So this is called abdominal breathing, and it's a very strong part of the practice. Don't worry if you're ever not abdominal breathing throughout. Just return to it whenever you notice that it's gone. Last one, deep breath into the belly. And as you exhale, let everything soften and relax back down to the earth. So let's come up very slowly. If you had your head resting on your hands, slowly come up onto hands and then knees. You're going to have to draw the knees in, do it in any way that's good for your body, and then slowly lift the hips. So the next stretch that we're doing is called puppy pose. This one is incredible stretch for in between the shoulder blades. So you walk the hands away to perhaps a 45-degree angle-ish, and you spread the fingers. The hips stay exactly as they were, so just above the knees. And you want to keep lifting the bum up towards the sky. There's a little arch in the spine if it's safe for you to do that. And then there's a bowing down of the chest towards the floor. Now you may not get all the way down to the floor. If not, you'll just be in space but the same action is there. So you're pressing your chest down to the floor, spreading your scapula apart. So really bringing that space in between, or getting that lovely stretch in between the scapula. And hopefully you're breathing. If of course there's pain, then just release out and come back to tabletop. So the hands underneath shoulders. Maybe last few breaths, I should have said, but my chin is down. If you're coming down and looking forward, as if you're a puppy that wants to play. All right, now coming up, very slowly, lift the chest, lift the elbows away from the floor. Now walk the hands in, but not completely, so they're still at an angle. We're going to thread the needle now. So you're going to thread your right arm underneath your left. So all the way, the further it goes, the more you'll get out of the stretch. If you can, as you bend the left elbow, see if you can come onto the right shoulder, right side of the head. Now, that might be enough. If it is, and especially if you're hovering in space, so the shoulder's not down, if it's enough, just stay where you are. And if you're hovering, otherwise you could choose to lift your left arm to the sky on the inhale, and on the exhale, see if you can grab the opposite thigh behind the back, and that will help open your heart to more to the left side, and then breathe into that. Now, if you're hovering and you're not resting on the shoulder, you might need to release, so just release when you need to, and then we will come out together. So lift the left arm up and down if it was anywhere else, and then slide back to all fours with the hands at an angle. Okay, so other side, left arm threads through to the right. As you do, bend the right elbow. See if you can come onto the right, left shoulder, and left side of the head, looking to the right. Now, if you can, you want to notice if your hips are anywhere other than neutral. And the way to find that out is notice if there's more weight in one side, and you want to bring it equally into both knees, both feet. Okay, those that did on the other side, you could lift the right arm up to the sky, and you could bend it and see if you could grab the opposite thigh. If you can't reach, then just at the back of the body on the opposite hip is perfect as well. And then with that openness, you get much more of a twist. Now inhale, lift the right arm if it was any other, exhale it down, and then everybody inhale to come up. Well done. Now it might feel good after that, bring the hands under your shoulders to take some cat-cow. So lining up the alignment, hands under shoulders, knees under hips. On the inhale, we drop through into cow. Now if there's any pain in the lower back, just stay neutral. But the idea otherwise is to get that lovely lumbar arch as you look forward and squeeze your shoulder blades together. Now as you exhale, take the opposing pelvic tilt and the opposing shoulders, so scapulas pulling apart, so protraction, and then that anterior tilt of your pelvis. Oh dear. Now move through those two with your breath. So the inhale will bring you to cow, and the exhale will bring you to cat. It might feel good to move through these two with a kind of fluidity. So moving with the length of each inhale and exhale. Last one. Great. And then come to neutral. So we're going to take your first high plank. Anyone that has wrist pain, you can come up onto fists. That can help with the elbows facing in towards each other. I know I have used that one myself. Otherwise, just don't wrist bear. If you need to, just stay on the knees, and you can do similar poses from there. So otherwise, step right foot and left foot back and find your high plank. Now first we want to find the fire within the belly. We're moving into the movement, the yang kind of aspect of the practice now. So building fire, building heat. Press the floor away and you're still breathing. Notice if you've held the breath. Take a deep breath in And then as you exhale, you're going to send your hips high, maybe walking the feet forward. Especially in my case, as I have shorter legs and arms, so I walk them forward, but you do what you need to have that upside down V shape. Now, if it's new to you, you'll be rounded, don't worry, just think about sending your chest towards your thighs and your thighs back with a deep, deep bend in the knees. Otherwise, if you've got straight legs, you might want to walk the dog, bending one knee at a time, looking under the opposite armpit to bent knee. And then bend both knees, look forward as if you were going to pounce, and slowly walk the feet to the front. Have the feet hip distance, inhale, lengthen the spine, and exhale, forward fold. And then from there, you're going to bend your left knee, keep your left hand underneath the face, and lift the right arm. So the right leg stays straight, but the left knee is bent, and that opposite arm, so right arm up to the sky. Choose any gaze point for the neck, then exhale, bend the knee, swap hands. So right hand under the face, bending into your right knee, left leg is straight, and lifting the left arm up to the sky. So a little twist once again, inhale, exhale, bend both knees, bring both hands down, head relaxed. Next inhale, rolling up through the vertebrae, by vertebrae all the way up, knees bent, head relaxed, and shoulders soft. Give yourselves a shoulder roll when you get there. Okay, so into the dynamic warm-up now, so sun salutation or moon salutation. The feet together if you can. If you've not got stability in that position, bring them hip distance. Ground down with your feet, open across your heart center as you squeeze the shoulder blades. On the inhale, take a big circle with the arms, reach the fingertips. On the exhale, bend the knees and hinge from the hip crease. Bring the hands next to the feet. You might need a deep bend in the knees to get the fingertips down. Relax your head and neck. Inhale, flat back, so lengthen the spine. Bring your hands on your shins and think pressing your shoulder blades down the back to the hips. And then exhale, bend the knees, release your head and neck again. Now step your right foot back. Drop your right knee down, and then taking low lunge. So your front knee is over the ankle. If this feels strong already, just stay on the fingertips and think about straight spine. So chest to thigh, heart forward, shoulders back. Those that like the little bit of energy, you could reach the arms up above the head. Now we've got some variations tonight for our low lunge. So from here, you're going to reach that right hand back anywhere on that right thigh. It could be all the way down to the knee, to the calf if you want a back bend. Otherwise, it's just more neutral in the spine. The gaze is forward, or if you're taking the back bend, you could look up. It is strong, and then slowly reach that left arm, right arm back up. You're going to take a twist, so bring your right hand down and your left arm up to the sky. Keeping that left knee over the ankle. Great. Inhale and then exhale. Bring that left hand down. Tuck the back toes under. Lift the knee and high plank. Press up pose. Press the floor away and then lower down with the knees perhaps for the first one. Inhale, lift your head, heart, shoulders, and maybe even hands if you want a challenge. And then exhale, bring the hands back. Send your hips back, hips to the sky, feet hip distance, and find downward dog. There is a lovely downward dog. Now remember, if it's tight, just send your hips back to the chest, your hips back to the back of the room, your chest towards your thighs, and a deep bend in the knees, tailbone high. It gets easier with time. Look forward, step or walk to the front of your mat, flat back on the inhale, and fold on the exhale. Next, inhale, stand. You could roll up like a ragdoll or reverse one dive, reaching the arms out beside you. Release, Tadasana, when you're ready. Inhale, second side. Lift the arms and exhale, forward fold. Hands down. Inhale, flat back, so shoulders down the back, then exhale, fold again. Now step left foot back, low lunge, dropping that knee. Remember, you have options, staying on fingertips, working on straight spine, or lifting the arms. And then the second option, again, is really optional. It is strong in the back, so only if you feel safe to do. You bring your left hand behind you to your left thigh. You could reach it back if you want to back bend and look up, or just stay neutral. And then from there, reaching that left arm back up to the sky, but this time taking it down to the earth, opposite arm up, so one line between wrists. Front knee stays in the above ankle, and then look down as you bring the right hand down. Spread the fingers, step back to the top of a push-up. Press the floor away, engage your core, and then exhale, lower onto knees, bent elbows. And as you do, it's almost like a tricep push-up, so the elbows are into the body. Inhale, lift head, heart, shoulders, and hands. And then exhale, bring the hands down, send the hips back, and then up to the sky for your downward facing dog. Tailbone high, feet are really grounding or pressing down towards the earth, all corners of the feet, trying to reach down. Okay, and now look forward, step, walk, or anything else in your practice. Look forward to a flat back, and then forward fold, exhale. Next inhale, press the feet down, rolling up or reverse swan dive as you come up. Now exhale, release. Okay, changing the sequence now. So bend your knees, come into an imaginary chair. So knees at least just before you get to the toes. So you don't want them to go beyond. So you couldn't see the toes. You want to see at least big toe. So that means that the weight is as far into the heels as possible. If it hurts your shoulders or neck to have the arms up, you could have the hands on your hips. Otherwise, if the arms are up, can you bring them in line with your ears or beyond to get really strong work into your side, back, and your shoulders. Good. Inhale, and then exhale, forward fold again. Should feel nice. Inhale, flat back, lengthen the spine, and then exhale, fold again. Now step your right foot back, take your right knee down to the earth, and then inhale, reach the arms up to the sky. Exhale, bring your hands to your heart. We're taking a different twist now, so the right elbow comes on the outside of left knee. Keeping the left knee over the ankle, see if you can get your thumbs in line with your heart. So you're really kind of trying to twist your chest in towards the thumbs to get that lovely twist. And the gaze would either be down, if you need more stability, towards your left or over your left shoulder. Good. Now to release, lifting the arms up, and exhale, do the same. So right hand down, left arm up. Those that want more, you can tuck the back toes and lift the back knee off the floor for a little bit more this time. Inhale. And exhale, hand down, step back, top of the push-up. Press the floor away, engage. Those that like a challenge, lower down without bending the knees. Elbows in towards the body, tricep push-up. Lower all the way down. This time, if you have sensitive back, stay in that low cobra version. Otherwise, a little bit higher, but the elbows still stay in towards the body. The heart is forward, the shoulders press back, and the crown of the head is up to the sky. It's strong. Exhale it down and then press back through, bent knees, hips high, downward dog. Find your downward dog. Deep bend in the knees if you need it. Maybe a walk of the dog if you feel necessary, or a shake or release in the head and neck. Good. Look forward. Step, walk, walk to the front. Flat back as you get there. Then fold, exhaling. Now inhaling. Sit in your imaginary chair, sweep the arms up, and then release the hands down, take a shoulder roll. Same on the other side, bend knees, lift arms, not holding as long on this side. Exhale, forward, fold. Well done. Inhale, flat back, and then exhale, release again, forward fold. Left foot steps back, low lunge, dropping the knee. Remember to stay in this first version if you need to, otherwise lifting the arms up, hands at your heart, taking a deeper twist. So if you can't connect, I should have said the other side, the left elbow to the right knee or thigh, you can just turn and twist this way. and you get the same action. The elbow just helps bring it a little bit deeper, and at the same time you're trying to bring that chest away from that thigh. And breathing. That's the challenge in a twist, breathing, but it brings a lot of great energy. Now look forward, reaching the arms forward and up. Exhale the left hand down and the right arm up. And if you want a little bit of energy in that back leg, lift the back knee. And then exhale, ground that top hand, step back, high plank, and then lower down with or without bending your knees. Inhale to your back bend of choice, low or high, and exhale, hips high, downward dog. All right, so hopefully we're warmer now. Pressing your chest towards thighs and your thighs back, tailbone high and long. And then look forward, step or walk to the front of your mat. And inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Now bend knees, lift arms, come back through, chair. And then release, straightening the legs, releasing the arms and shoulder roll. Brilliant. So into standing balance, just to break up the standing sequence, bring your hands to your hips and have about hip distance with your feet. We're going to do one-legged chair, so this one's quite a challenge. If you've got knee pain, you should be able to do it, just don't go low in that standing knee, and I'll show you what we're doing. So the right ankle will come, you'll bring the weight into the left leg, right ankle will come just above the left knee, and you'll flex the foot, very important for the knee joint. You'll either stay here because you're basically standing on one leg and you have this right angle, which is perfect. If you want to go deeper, you sit into an imaginary chair, and lastly, you could reach your arms up. So from the side, it will look like this. So imaginary chair, very, very strong balance. I should say always, with our balance, we're working a drishti, so gazing in one spot will help keep your eyes focused there for your mind. Now to release, hands maybe back to your hips, straightening the leg, releasing, and shake out your standing leg. Same on the other side. So little bend of the knees before we do this. Then bring the weight to your right leg, bend your left knee, flex your foot, bring it just, ankle just above that knee. That could be you, find a drishti, or you'll sit low into an imaginary chair. You'll start to feel a similar stretch to a pigeon, and then reaching the arms. So outer hip and glutes, the lower you come, the more you'll feel that. And you're sitting low. So just like we would in chair, noticing if there's any overarching. So sit low, breathe deep. Doing amazing. Not an easy one, this one. And then to come out, bring your hands to your hips, straighten that leg, reach the leg, and then shake out. Well done. So now into the warrior practice. We'll step your right foot back, and we'll take warrior one. So warrior one, we have the option to take it into warrior three. I think this is the first time I'm teaching warrior three here, so enjoy. You'll want, for warrior one, both feet facing forward, so you can turn your back hip forward. So you want to imagine that both hip bones are facing forward, then you'll bend into your front knee to the right angle. As you do that, you'll notice a lot of twist and strain in that back leg. If it's too much on the knee, just come into a high lunge by coming up onto the toes. So never feel any pain or, sharpness around the knee. And then lastly, with the gaze forward, you would lift your arms shoulder height. And this is warrior one. Warrior one is incredibly strong and powerful in our whole body, but mainly the legs. These are very strong leg poses. Now, optional warrior three. You're going to reach your chest to hover over that front thigh. Now, firstly, let's reach your arms back as if you're an aeroplane. And then bring your hands to your hips, those that want to go into this pose. Now you want to turn onto the back toes, keep a drishti, and then walk that back foot forward, maybe a foot or so, and then the weight is predominantly in that front leg, sorry, and then you can lift. Now it might be when you first start warrior one, it's lifting and then coming back, and that's okay. Just play with weight distribution, and then when you've got it, you try and straighten a little bit more into that standing leg to just a micro bend. Now if you feel steady, the arms can come beside you or out like a plane wing, or forward, which is much harder. And when you're ready, you would ground that back foot and reach your arms back. Well done if you did it. Now let's just take a little release. So bring the hands down, step back to a downward facing dog, walking the dog. And if you need a rest, you drop the knees, sink the hips to the heels, and take child's pose. So you'll either be in child's pose or downward dog for a few breaths before we come and do it on the other side. So warrior three, working towards it. So it's a strong balance, which means every day will be different in your warrior three, which is the beauty. Now for this one, the right foot will be forward. So come back to a downward dog or all fours and step that right foot forward. Now lift the back knee off the floor and ground the back foot down, toes facing forward. Your front knee is bent at a right angle, and when you're ready, you could reach your arms forward and up and fly warrior one. If it's pulling on that back knee, come onto the back toes, and it's more like a crescent moon lunge, but that's okay. A high lunge, that's absolutely fine. As long as you're protecting your knee, that's what's most important. Good, breathing in your warrior one, this strong leg strengthener, really. There's a stretch in our side waist as we reach the arms up, but mainly as we ground the feet down, we're bringing strength. Now, into the option. You can either just come to this hover and stay, if you know you don't want to do the balance. If you want to, maybe bring your hands to your hips, makes it slightly easier. Come onto the back toes, keep a drishti, bring the weight forward, and then lift the leg whenever you're ready, to any degree. But if you can bring it hip level, perfect. Now, if you feel steady, she says, bring your arms out beside you, or out to the side, or, which is basically the same, just different, reach your arms forward, and if you can, with control, ground that back foot, lift the arms and you're in warrior one. Exhale, bring the hands back down, step back to a downward facing dog, maybe a child's pose if you prefer that as a rest. Okay, so now I'd like us to walk the hands towards the feet. So you're coming into this kind of this forward fold. With the hips back, you want to deeply bend the knees and just hang out with holding opposite elbows. If you're stable, if you're not, just bring the hands down. Relax your head and neck. The weight is as equal into the heels as it is the ball of the foot. And yeah, you're really trying to surrender the weight of your chest onto your thighs. The head and neck is completely released. And you're breathing deep. Good, and then roll up once again, slowly, like a ragdoll, coming all the way up for our final standing posture. So what you want to do is face the long, so you're facing the long edge. And then you're going to open your feet wide. So you want the edge of the foot parallel to the edge of the mat. And then from there, inhale, reach your arms out to shoulder height, and exhale, bring your hands to your hips. From there, inhale, squeeze the elbows together, then also squeezing the shoulders together, and on the exhale, we come into a forward fold, so hinging from the hip crease. And then eventually, the crown of the head will come towards the floor. It may be miles away, which is fine. But if you're really struggling in the back of the legs with this, have a bend in the knees. It really doesn't matter if you do that. If it takes away that pulling, then that's great, that's necessary. Now, if you are a bit more flexible and you're getting the fingertips or the hands down, you want to bring them in line with your feet. So hands in line with the feet. As you inhale, find a halfway lift. And as you exhale, come forward into that forward fold a little deeper. Using the hands to pull your head down, but don't worry if it's nowhere near. If you're halfway, you're still getting the same stretch, right? You're just using a bit more balance. So it's a little bit harder for you, but otherwise you're getting the same stretch as those that are down here. So it doesn't matter where you are. And then on the inhale, flat back. And the last one we'll do is this kind of hammock pose. So you walk those hands out just like you did for puppy, keeping the hips exactly as they are, but bowing the chest down to get that lovely scapular stretch. So in between the scapulars should feel really, really strong. Not good if you're on a slippy surface. I did have a bit of slip yesterday doing this. So yeah, be careful, please. And then we'll come out of it by lifting the head and walking the hands back in. When you're ready, bring your hands to your hips. Use the strength of your thighs and your core engaged as you roll back up the way we went out. Releasing the hands and shoulder roll once or twice. And then heel toe. So heel toe so they come in together like a kind of concertina. Okay, and then we're going to come down for our more steeper hip stretches that we're going to do. So the first one will be lizard lunge. Let's come down anyway through vinyasa. So front of your mat, inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale to flat back. And then exhale, fold once again. Now step your left foot back and drop your left knee down. You're going to bring your hands on the inside of that foot. So you can walk the foot out to the right edge or the long edge of the mat. Turn that foot out to like a 45-degree angle. This is where padding can become useful. So cushions, if you've got them, or blankets, place it under that back knee. So it'll be your left knee as your right knee is in that lovely alignment, tracking in line with the toes. Now, some of you'll be on the hands or the fists if there's pain in the wrists, and you'll just stay there. The idea is to get a deep hip stretch into that psoas and that back hip, but also this lovely inner thigh and outer glute stretch here. So you're getting a lot of work on both hips here. Okay, so those of you that have been here a while and want to go deeper, can you work on coming down onto one forearm? That might be enough. You might just come down halfway, and that's fine. You can use cushions if you've got them. Some of you might come all the way down onto two. If you're on two, it makes it a little easier to align your hips so they're nice and neutral. Notice if you're leaning on one side, it's okay. Just try and counter it by bringing the weight onto the other side slightly. Okay, and just a few more breaths before we take this variation, which is totally optional. But if you are on the forearms, it's better on your hands. Well, yeah, you will need to be on the hands. And yeah, if you want more, those of you that like a bit of energy, you can tuck the back toes and lift the back knee off the floor. It will make it really, really strong. We're going to walk the hands in a kind of 45-degree angle, so the opposite way to that knee. Keep pressing that knee in line with the toes. And then if you want more, you walk the hands at that diagonal as far as you can go. And then you should get a lovely, lovely deep stretch, especially on your front thigh, especially inner, but also outer, but also we'll get it on our side body as well. So yeah, adding that dimension in. If it doesn't work for you or the space you've got, then you'll just still be in that lizard, which is a wonderful stretch to hold. Okay. So now we're going to release it. I like to go from these kind of stretches into a downward dog just to kind of shake out. You can maybe make circles or hip circles, knee circles, or just slide or bring that knee back to all fours and then take a child's pose. Do what you feel is necessary before we do the other side. So I'll show you on this side. Right knee will be underneath the cushion if you've got one, and your left foot will come forward. Turn the toes lightly at an angle and come onto the fists, the hands, or work towards forearms. Maybe one, maybe two. Wherever you are will be enough, because even if you're in that first stage, it's very strong. So breathe through it. Notice the feeling that you're getting in the areas you're working, the back hip flexor, the front thigh and glute. Breathe through it. Okay, and to come out of it, come up onto the hands. Let's do that on the other side. So hands at a 45-degree angle. Keep pressing that knee, tracking in line with the toes. Walk the hands out to an angle and hold. So you keep pressing that knee open. If it doesn't work for your body, just release it. Okay, and then walk the hands back in. Do whatever you did on the other side. So if it was a downward dog, maybe just shaking out the legs, do the other side. Okay, so our last seated one that we'll do will be a straddle, because that's a really lovely stretch. Now, straddle is where you open your legs as wide as they'll go. If you've got a mat, it does make it a bit easier, but otherwise do it on carpet or a towel or something. So you want to open them out, and if you're really struggling with that, there's options. You can use cushions or blocks to sit on. You could also have a bend in the knees and use cushions or blocks underneath the knees. That can help. But otherwise, if you're feeling quite stable, you could either start with the hands behind you, or if you think, oh, okay, I could sit up without my hands, you can then bring the hands forward and go into the forward fold. So there's lots of options with this one, depending on your body type. So do not feel like you're in any pain. The only thing you should be feeling comfortably is a stretch on the inside of your thighs, really. That's the main stretch we want to feel. Any pain in a joint, just come out. Maybe make padding under the knees or the hips. So yeah, make sure you're okay. But otherwise, breathe. Quite a similar stretch to what we did at the beginning, the wide knee child's pose, but much more intense. Much, much stronger. The more you hold it, perhaps the more you can come down. The idea with this one is before the head comes down, the chest comes down. So it can help those of you that do work deeper to bring the hands towards the feet to help that. Anyway, wherever you are, come up. So walk the hands towards you. We're going to stay with this side, this for the side stretch, but bring your right foot in. So right foot will come in towards the groin, and the left leg will be straight. We're going to first just turn over that left leg. So you're turning the whole body to face that direction, and then you're going to walk the hands out. So for it doesn't matter how far they come down or how far they walk, you just want to feel that you're bowing your chest down towards the thighs before the head. So the head is coming forward and not down. Breathing into that lovely forward stretch, forward fold. And then we'll take the side stretch from there. So you're going to bring your right hand on the inside of the leg. So wherever you walk to, that's where your hand will go, if that makes sense. So if you walk further, the hand will come here. Then you lift your left hand and bring it to your hip and look over to your left. That already is a side stretch for your left side. If that's enough, just stay there. If you want more, you can add that left arm up. And if you want more still, you can reach over towards that right foot. And the gaze would be up towards the sky or forward or down. It really doesn't matter. And the breath is into your left side body. If it's too much on that top arm, you could bring it back, but still work on that side stretch, so leaning to your right. Okay, now to come up, if your arm is overhead, you're going to reach it all the way and use momentum to bring yourself up. Now it should feel quite strong, so we're going to de-rotate or take a little twist to the right, your left, and then we're going to come out of it by bringing your left leg straight and your right foot in towards the groin. Left leg is straight, and then we're going to turn your hips and your chest to face in line with that leg. Fingertips either side of that leg, and then walk them away as far as they go. One side might be easier than the other. And imagine that your head is coming forward to that front foot. Breathing. And then wherever your hands are, you're going to bring your left hand on the inside of that left leg. Right hand comes to your hip as you look over to the right, and that might be enough, or lift your right arm up and overhead, maybe bending onto that forearm if you can, otherwise you'll be here, reaching over towards left foot and looking either up, forward or down. If it's too much in the arm, you could rest it or just bring it back to the hip, but with that leaning over to your right, no left. The stretch is on your right though, so this is your right side body getting that lovely stretch. Okay, coming out of it, if your arm is overhead, reach it up and then back down. As you come all the way up, take a little twist and then look forward. Well done. Okay, now I'm going to bring both knees in. So take your time, bring the knees up to the sky. We're going to roll down through the core, so you can use your core muscles for this by either hands to shins, finding a nice long spine, heart forward, shoulders back, or you could come into that kind of hover, so the feet come off the floor, you're using your abdominals to lift you. You could also lift the legs, and then you could reach the arms out either side of you, gazing forward. Okay, and then from there, you can choose to lower. Now, if you want to just do the easy version, you can then just bring the feet down and roll down that way. Otherwise, we come to this kind of boat shape with the head in line with the feet, your arms out beside you, and then finally, when you're ready, bring your back into the floor and hug your knees into your chest, rolling from side to side. Great. So we'll spend a little time here still. So there's a little massage you can do if you bring your hands to your knees. Just bring little circles to the knee in one direction and then the other. And then bring your knees into your chest and your head towards your knees, making yourself a tight little ball. And then release the head back down. From there, we're going to straighten your right leg, keeping your left knee in towards your chest. You're going to take that knee over to your right. So opposite hand to knee, right hand, left knee. And on the exhale, you're taking that knee as you roll over onto that right hip. You're taking that left knee over to your right. You may get nowhere near the floor, and it really doesn't matter. And the gaze would either be over your left middle finger or up to the sky. It really doesn't matter. Depends on how good it feels in your neck. Up is a little bit more neutral. So yeah, bring the breath to the right side body, left side body. So the twist is on your right, but you're going to get that lovely openness space on your left. Breathe there. Okay, now inhale, bringing that knee back up to center. Let's do the same on the other side. So straighten your left leg and bring your right knee in. Give it a hug, give it a squeeze. Then take your right arm out to the right. Take your left knee over with your right hand. Right knee over with your left hand towards the left. It may be nowhere near the floor. It doesn't matter. If you can, you'd either look up or over to your right side, depending on how your neck felt with those movements. Up is much more neutral, or is neutral. Oh dear. And then breathe into your right side body. That's getting that lovely openness. Okay, from there, slowly come back. So bring that right knee back into your chest. Give it a squeeze, give it a hug, and then you're going to bring both feet down. So both feet down to the floor, hip distance, toes facing directly forward. We're going to go into bridge. Now I've got a cushion. If you've got blocks or cushions or anything that you can rest your hips on in bridge, it makes it much gentler but really nice. But if not, just take normal bridge. So for bridge, you press into the heels, lift the hips, lift the buttocks, lifting from the thigh muscles, coming all the way up. A little bit of activation in the glutes will also help. Now, if you've got that cushion or block and you want to use it, you bring it under the sacrum and you just rest the sacrum lightly. So it's really not elevated very high, depending on what you use. I did mention in a previous class that you could put books together and then stack a duvet or something cushiony like a blanket over, and that could work just the same as a block really. But anyway, it just makes it so much nicer. Doesn't mean that you just flop into it and let go. You're still using a little bit of activation in your thighs, in your glutes, to press up to the sky, but with that release down, so it's much softer. And if you're just taking out a normal bridge, bog standard bridge, then you can do lots of variations with the arms. They could go overhead, you could interlace them, just makes it much more active. So it's not one that you'd hold easily, but you could. So we'll all come down. So remove blocks by lifting the hips, gently pushing them to the side, and then roll down really slow. See if you can go down slower than you went up. And then press the back into the floor. Take the curvature away. Well done. Last one? Yeah, last one. The IT bandish stretch. I think it's very loosely an IT band stretch, but it is nice. You bring your left foot right out to the edge of the mat, so it's nice and wide, and then the right ankle comes above your left knee. Then, so it's not a twist, so don't think about looking the opposite way. The arms could be anywhere. And then on the exhale, with both feet flexed, you take that knee over, or take both knees over to the right, using or guiding by that right ankle. And there's the stretch. It should come from up the top of your hip all the way down. So I guess it does feel into the IT band, as long as you're getting that both knees down towards the floor. They don't need to touch the floor at all to get the stretch. And both feet are flexed to protect the knee joint as usual. And a breath. Okay, come up. Slowly bring the knees back up to center. Bring your right foot right up to the edge of the mat. Bring your left ankle above your right knee, flexing both feet, taking that left knee to the left, taking everything with it. So taking the left foot, then right knee, then right leg, all the way over to your left. Feeling that stretch on the top of your right hip, down, breathing there. Think about coming up and out, so slowly draw the knees back up to the sky, bring the knees in, hugging the knees. Doing a rock from side to side. Okay, and we're done. So let's think about your final relaxation posture. Traditionally, the legs and the arms are straight away from the body, palms facing up. But if that's not good for your back, you can take TP knees, so feet wide, knees together. So you choose what makes it most comfortable for you, and then we're gonna make sure you're warm. So if you need a blanket, take a blanket. I'm going to talk you through a breathing exercise. So you're going to wait where you are, and I'm going to talk you through it. So just first of all, just notice this relaxation posture. There's no more physical work to be done now. You can really just let go of any controlling the muscles, the joints. Just let it all sink, release down. And then as it does, just notice any areas that are still holding on, that still have that residual tension, maybe from the day, from your week, from your year. Just noticing every part of you without trying to change it, without trying to run away or hide from it. Just noticing what's in your body. What can you notice here now? And then we'll do this breathing technique. We'll only do a couple of rounds because it's a challenging one, but only because we're holding the breath. A lot of people I've spoken to before don't like holding the breath because it feels claustrophobic. If that's you, then really do not worry. If you want to try it, just try it. Know your body will always let you breathe, so it will never let you starve of breath. So you can, have that in mind, but also don't do it if you know it will create any stress or tension. No need, just ignore what I'm saying. And that's it. So we're going to breathe in for 4, hold the breath in for 4, breathe out for 4, hold the breath out for 4. Simple. The holding the breath in and out is the hardest, but just do what you can do. So natural breathing, noticing the breath as it is, as it flows naturally and without force. And then we will bring control to breathe in together for 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold the breath in. 2, 3, 4. Breathe out. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold the breath out. 2, 3, 4. Breathe in. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold in. 2, 3, 4. Breathe out. 2, 3, 4. Hold the breath out. 2, 3, 4. Last one. Inhale. 2, 3, 4. Hold in. 2, 3, 4. Breathe out. 2, 3, 4. Hold the breath out. 2, 3, 4. Amazing. Now just let your breath return to natural. Might take a few breaths before it feels natural again. And just notice how you are feeling after that technique. We only did it a few times, but it's enough. It's quite a strong one. Noticing how the body felt, if you can remember when you held the breath. Because there's this really amazing thing that happens when we hold our breath, is that there's nothing to think about in that moment, because the mind is only thinking about when it will take the next breath. So it's really quietening. So it's really nice, and it's only 4 seconds, so it can be easy, and you can do it as many times as you like, but it's a really, really energizing and also calming technique. So now we just follow the breath as it is naturally, without force. Notice the way it moves and feels and sounds in your body. Just a few more breaths here. Before we think about coming out of relaxation. You could start to deepen them now. So as you inhale, expand the belly, filling up like a balloon. As you exhale, let that air deflate. Now move your fingers and toes to awaken the body. Bring your feet together, extend the arms overhead and stretch. Then bring your knees into your chest, give yourselves a hug. And then roll onto your right side and rest there. And slowly press your way all the way up to sitting. And when you're ready, we're going to just take our final practice, part of the practice, bring the hands together at the heart to prayer. take an inhale, and as we exhale, bow down to the hands. Namaste. Now lift your head and heart, keeping your eyes closed, rubbing your hands together, and then cupping the hands over the eyes. Breathe in. As you breathe out, release the hands down. Open the eyes when you're ready. So thank you all. I hope you had a lovely session. Questions asked, tag us at the fitting rooms. But yeah, have a lovely rest of your week and weekend. Bye-bye.